Hello guys, welcome to another interview with one of our FTMO traders, and today we're having Olivier from Chamonix in France. Hi Olivier.
Hi Vitek.
Okay, so by the way, for those of you who might be watching us for the first time, FTMO is a prop trading company, and we are looking for experienced traders who can manage our FTMO account with up to $200,000 upon passing our evaluation process, of course. So Olivier here, you've been trading with us for about half a year now, and I think in April, you made a nice profit of 48,000 euros. Very well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so could you please give us a little introduction? Give us a little bit more information on your background, like for how long have you been trading and so on?
Yes, of course, yes. Well, I've been trading for almost 5 years now, and it's been maybe more than 6 months that I'm regular and profitable. So it takes time, and I did few trainings before that to make my own strategy that fit with my psychology. So that's what I've done the last years exactly, and yes. So background is I'm an engineer, but I'm doing more and more tradings and investment like that. So yeah.
Okay, so did you start with a regular broker with a demo account like most people?
Yes, well, honestly, I started directly in a real account, but with any knowledge. I didn't know what was a candle at the beginning, to be honest. So I did some mistake at the beginning. I lost some money. I think most of the traders, or even all of them, lost money at the beginning. So that's a mistake I've done 5 years ago, 4 and 5 years ago, something like that. And then I trained myself with books and online trainings. Then I start again with a demo account and with my own money with broker exactly. And then when I was more regular, I start a challenge with FTMO. Now it's been 6 months, something like that I'm trading with my FTMO account just to have a bigger leverage and higher account.
Yeah, I think you started in November, and actually I was looking at your account, and you are a prime, very good example of that hard work really pays off, because I noticed that in the beginning, you had a few FTMO challenges that didn't really work out, and it took a bit before you got to your first FTMO account, and now in the last 2 months, you've made, so again in April, I think it was 40,000 euros, and before that, 40,000 euros. So obviously, paid off very well. So again, very nice example of hard work paying off.
And I made some mistakes, so it's for that I know FTMO does trial as well, 14 days trials. And for the people that will see this video, I think it's very important to start with a trial, even for FTMO accounts, because even the psychology can be a challenge. You have 30 days to have the 10% for the first month. So it can impact your psychology, even if you have a good strategy before that. So I know I made some mistake by end of the year, the last year, I mean, when I started the first FTMO challenge. So yes,
okay,
you're right.
So you have both experiences with trading with a broker, with a regular retail life account, and trading for a prop firm. So you were talking about psychology. So is your approach to trading different, or is it exactly the same?
It's with the experience, I think it's much easier now with FTMO than with a broker because of the rules. In tradings, you don't have any rules, so you can do whatever you want. So if you don't put rules to yourself, you can do wrong things. And with FTMO, you have 5% drawdown per day. So it means that if one day you are not in a good shape or not in a good mindset, you know that you have to stop before that. And it helps to keep going for the other days or other months. So it helps a lot in terms of psychology and rules. So yeah.
Nowadays, as you are an FTMO trader, do you also trade your own live account, or are you only with FTMO now?
Not anymore. I did more investment with the money that I invest before FTMO accounts, but no, not anymore.
All right. Now let's touch upon trading a little bit. So, would you consider yourself a fundamental or technical trader?
I'm more technical, but I use also fundamental. Fundamental for this year, mainly this year with inflation rates. There is big challenge that's coming, so it can impact the market. But of course, yes, each time I open a trade, before that, the routine I've got is to find the news. The news every morning. I check on what's going on the days or the week to be sure that I will not open a position just before an important news.
Okay, so you're trying to avoid trading during the news releases.
Yeah, exactly. Or to protect my position if I'm in position during this kind of news. But yeah.
Okay, let's now go a little bit further back to the start. So you said at the beginning you were really not knowing what you were exactly doing, right? So you lost some money, and then you decided, okay, I'm gonna take it seriously. So you mentioned that you took some online courses and that you read some books. So how long exactly was this process of education before you started actually being profitable? Or and one more question, actually, when you were learning, when you were taking all this education, were you trading your live account at the same time, or were you just learning and not trading at all?
Well, I do both in the same time. I have two other computers. So I have 3 screens here. So I put in 2 screens the graphs, the news, and everything that can help for taking position. And the other one, I do like trainings if I want to see things on internet, or even book in the same time. So I can read. Mainly in the morning, I try to do more like a mindset things. So more trainings, looking for news and everything like that. And when the US open the afternoon, that's where I can take more position.
Okay.
That's what I do.
How many hours a day do you devote to trading? Because I've noticed that you often do day trading, so you hold a position for a few hours. But I've also noticed that because you have a swing account, that you also held the positions for a few days or even a few weeks. I think the longest one was held for about 14 days. So how many hours a day do you actually trade?
That depends on the opportunities, but 4 hours maximum. So it's for that the afternoon and the morning. It's more about mindset, sports, or anything else that I can do. But yeah, 4 hours is the maximum I do, and I will show you after if we have time. I put alerts on TradingView to be sure that I will not miss when there is an opportunity, or at least the area where I want to work with.
Okay. So you're trying to keep this healthy balance of trading and also living life.
Yeah. At the beginning, it was more difficult, and when you trade too much, you can do like over trading, these kind of things. So it happens. It happened to me a long time ago, and I try now to balance both of them. So yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you for the introduction. And now let's look at your trading. All right, and we're back with Dow Jones here. So I saw that you actually are trading a lot of symbols, a lot of gold, silver, Dow Jones as well. So yes, please go ahead and show us how you approach the markets.
Okay. So yes, that's true that I use a lot of symbols, because I try to follow the smart money, in fact. So the last 2 months, the symbols were very attractive was the gold, the silver, for example, even the Nasdaq and Bitcoin. I don't choose crypto money on tradings because it's too volatile. The volatility is too much so I don't really like it. And this one, it will be an example of the Dow Jones. That we will see. So every morning I check on FTMO the updates in terms of market, if there is any news or maintenance on the website, to be sure that I will not be stopped at any moment and at any time. Then I check on investing.com the news for the fundamental point, and then I do analysis. So with the time, I'm more and more in a swing position. So I mean a long-term position. So I will try to convert all my intraday position into a swing one. Mm-hmm. So it's for that I have positions that can take 14 days or 30 days. So that's the strategy I've got. For example, for the Dow Jones, I think it was here. I took one at 332. I don't remember exactly. We will see because we are in a weekly time frame. But the most important things for me is to identify the support and resistance. Mm-hmm. This one will be the area where I will take position. For the symbols like Dow Jones, Nasdaq, DAX, everything like that, I try to take only buy. So buy position and less short position, because we can see with the time frame weekly that we will have more probabilities than it will go up than down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The indices are going up for the last few years.
Exactly. So what I do is I put support and resistance a bit everywhere. So weekly and most of the time daily, it's quite enough for the intraday. So I put like this here. Here, for example, where we can see, in fact, the candles here, that there is difficulties between the sellers and the buyers. So it means the market is not very certain of which way it will go. So there is a support here and here as well. So that's how I do exactly. Here we can see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
for resistance.
Very clear level.
So after that, I change of colors. So when for me it will be a resistance, I will put it in red one. Why? Because it means I will, if I have a buying position from here to here, I will cut few of my contracts at resistance. Mm-hmm. And when the price is higher than this one, I will put it, for example, in a green color, because that's where I will try to find a new position to go up, to buy.
Okay, so if I understand correctly, you do partial closes. You do not always close the whole position.
Yeah, okay. Exactly. Yeah, I will explain you at the end how I close the position. But yeah.
All right.
So in the daily time frame, that's what I do exactly. I put the yellow one here. It means that if the price goes down here, but I'm sure it will not. I'm pretty sure it will not. That's where I will be more aggressive, because it will be very difficult for the market to go even lower than that. So for me, the gold position will be the golden zone. The yellow zone will be this one, for example. If we go there, I will be more aggressive than this area. Mm-hmm. So this one, for example, I will put it in yellow. This one is too low, so I don't need it.
Okay? By the way, at the beginning, you mentioned that you're trying to follow the smart money. So how exactly do you do that? Do you use any tools to follow the smart money?
No, the size of the candles.
Uh-huh.
So, for example, if the market is in this kind of things, so big stick and low how to say body. Mm-hmm. Here there is not so much volatility, or I mean the number of buyers and sellers will be the same, so it will be more difficult to find a position. If I have candles like that, I can go. Mm-hmm. Like that also I can go. If it's very small like that, I prefer to wait, or to see in another time frame.
Okay, so you're like to wait for a clear direction.
Yeah, exactly. Always following the trend on the daily trend.
Trend is your friend.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, sometimes I do the opposite, but it's where I am in a very major resistance or this kind of things. But most of the time, it's like that. So, daily time frame, we can see that we start a new trend that goes up since beginning of even the end of the last year. Now it was beginning of this year, March exactly, for the Dow Jones. So what I can do is to put a trend line like that, and we can see, yeah, here. So there is 1, 2, 3. So it's approximately it's an area as well that goes up like that. But it helps me to find the support. This one is very strong, for example, because I had one support in the green one, and it follows the trend line as well. So it would be very difficult to go down after this one. So that's where I will put an alert. I will put an alert around here. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I will put an alert around here. So like that, I will be aware from the market, from TradingView, when there might be an opportunity. It's not a signal, it's an opportunity. Then I use as an indicator Ishimoku. So it's quite difficult to explain Ishimoku because there is a lot of line. But to sum up quite fastly, there is a presence area with the 10 cans. It's the blue one, blue line, and the Kijun. It's a red line. It's a bit like the moving average. So if both of them are are very close and goes up, it means that the trend is quite safe. We see here that it goes up, and here we can see it's quite safe because both of them, the red one goes closer to the blue line.
Okay, so you're looking for the crosses.
Exactly.
Okay. By the way, are you using this indicator only for Dow Jones or only for indices or for everything?
For everything, yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I think
for everything,
we haven't had anyone using this indicator yet, so this is a new thing actually for me.
Okay, yeah, I use this one in all time frame, and in fact, it shows me if a new trend will come or not. I don't do any support or resistance or trend line with this indicator, so it's for that at the beginning I don't show it. I don't put it on the graph because I don't want to that these indicators interfere with the area, and then I put it just to comfort it.
Okay.
So that's what I do, and here we can see the golden zone is where there is like this area is called the Kumo. It's a cloud, in fact. The cloud it's called also Kumo. And it helps me a lot when I want to take a position. This is called SSB, the blue line here, and it's very difficult for the price to switch to go. It's like a resistance or a support. We can see here there was difficulties to go up, so the price went up, and then there was like a stop, and then it went up. Okay. So when I was here, I say, okay, it went up a lot. We are close to a resistance, and these two lines was quite far from each other.
Wide.
So yeah, exactly. So the market would go down a while just for this line to go up. When it will go up, it will be a good time to come back to the markets on daily time frame. But the one I use with Ishimoku is the 4 hours time frame. It's very useful. So that's what I do exactly. and I think it was here, 3,000. Here it's where I took a position. So in the green area, in fact, and the trend line, the red one. Okay. To do so, when the price is in my area, I go on 1 hour or even 15 minutes because I'm in intraday position.
Mm-hmm.
So I use these 2 time frame to take position. Sometimes 5 minutes as also, but yes. So here it's exactly where I put a position. It was here. I think it was in 1 hour. 1 hour. Here exactly. So Ishimoku, in fact, tell me that when the cloud is very high, so here we can see it's a green, the price will have difficulties to go.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's quite small like that, the price or even the lagging span here, it's another line from the indicators. In fact, it's the price, but 26 periods earlier than that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's for that it's at the same level. These 2 lines, so the price and the lagging spans, try to go where the cloud is the smaller one. So it's for that here it went down because it was smaller here. For example, here as well. You can see it here and here. And I took the position here. Mm-hmm. So that's exactly where I take my position. Here. So to do so, I can see if I take that, here it's quite thin, okay? So the price could have go there. I check here, around 26 period. Okay, so in terms of probability, I know it goes down in 1 hour time frame, but in terms of probability, it can go up and follow the daily time frame because the price could go in this area because it's very small. Mm-hmm. So in terms of probability, it will try at least to go up until here. Here I took it because I use Bollinger Band here, okay. And I can see that the price came back to the Bollinger Band. There was an exit here in terms of sales, and then it came back. Here I took a position. I put a stop loss a bit slower than my area zone, the green zone here, and I wait. How I take profits now? That's simple. Always pay myself. That's what I try to say. So I take a position here, stop loss around here. Okay, so first will be at risk ratio of 1. So here it will be around here. Mm-hmm. So when the price will go up here, I will take from 10 to 30% of my
position.
Yeah. I say 10 to 30% because it will really depend on the market condition. Mm-hmm. 10% if I'm quite confident. It will be 30% or even more if I'm less confident.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Here, so I take position. I can see the 2 lines here goes up to the Kumo, the cloud. So for me, it shows me that it could be a long-term position. I could convert this intraday in a long-term position. So that's what I did, and I still have it now, in fact. So when I do that, I do break even. Like that, I don't lose any money. Mm-hmm. I took some money from the market because I have TP1 here, and then TP2 would be more from analytical. So here I took also money, and then I'm waiting. I'm waiting until the profit slip, the end of the profit slip. I have a good entry zone. 80% minimum has been taken from the start, so now I can wait.
Mm-hmm. And you're already paid
I will
yourself.
break even. Yeah, exactly. Maybe I will break even, but maybe not. So I don't know where the market will go tomorrow. Today we have some news, I think, with...
I think there's FOMC. Yeah, in the evening.
Yeah. So it's for that. I'm waiting and I will see. Worst case scenario will be break even or not.
Yeah,
So that's what I did.
I guess that's psychologically a very comfortable position when you already have taken your profits and you know that now at the worst case scenario, sorry for that, you're gonna hit the break even. So
yeah, and also it helps me a lot with FTMO because you have a drawdown of 5% per day, and having a position in positive on your account will increase your daily drawdown.
Yes, that's correct.
So it's much better after all. Yeah.
Gives you more breathing space.
Exactly. Yeah. So in terms of psychology, you're much better. Each time I do a profit split, I have to start from the beginning. So I don't have position. So it's more difficult the first 2 weeks to be sure before to have a new position. Yeah.
So at the beginning, you mentioned that you trade 4 hours a day a maximum. So when you enter a position like this, when you open it, do you already preset the partial closes and then you go away from the computer?
No, market. Yeah, I know a lot of people put limit order, but I don't do that. Because we never know if there is a news or something like that. It will open with your order limit, and finally you didn't want it because it's because of a news that it came to this area. So I put an alert here. In fact, I take here. I put an alert just before the price goes to my area, my green area here. So I will put an alert here, and I will receive it on my phone or by email.
Okay, yeah. Okay. When it comes to go ahead, finish.
So yeah, when I receive the email, I come back to my graphic and I wait for signals.
Okay. All right. So even though when you're away from the computer, you're always getting the notification whenever something would happen. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
When it comes to stop loss and risk, so do you set a firm risk of always 1 or 2% per trade, or do you calculate the risk in a different way?
Yeah, 0.5% of risk in terms of intradays. And in terms of, I can do scalping. I use 0.25% maximum.
Okay.
And for the swing, sometimes when I don't have so much time, I can take a position with higher time frame, like 4 hours or daily time frame. So at this time, I will use maximum 1%.
When it comes to indicators, so you have shown that you're using Ishimoku. You mentioned Bollinger Bands as well. Is there something else that you use?
No, that's all. Sometimes the pivot. But it's more when I am in a smaller time frame, like 5 minutes. Because with the experience, I can that's help a lot with Ishimoku in terms of size of the cloud. When the cloud is big, it's the price will lateralize. It will be like that. And there is a big Kumo, for example. I don't know here if it is the case. Yeah, there is the Kumo here, in fact. And the price goes like that. So I use the pivot because usually when it does that, it's because I think there is a pivot here. Maybe, yeah. Show. I don't remember how to show the pivot on the other periods.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Use daily base value, show labels, show prices.
Okay, never mind. I don't think we need to force it.
Yeah, you go. So you see here, it was, there was no. But you see here, for example, it's quite obvious. It goes to the pivot, so it helps me sometimes.
Okay.
But I don't use it often.
Also, one more thing I'd like to ask about is that you said your goal is to basically transfer your daily positions into swing positions, into log positions. So,
Exactly.
Do you see a change or a progress in your trading? Like maybe when you were trading a few years ago, you were mainly scalping, day trading, and now you're shifting more towards trying to be a long-term trader to hold the positions for a couple of days or weeks?
Yeah, we see a lot on the market, on the market, online trading, and all these things. Yes, you can earn money with 2 hours or 1 hour trading per day. Yes, maybe you can, but you will take one position in one day. You will maybe save. You will win the first day, and the second day you will lose it. So you have to be careful with the risk ratio and everything like that. And for me, I tried, but it's not so. It's not. Yeah, it's not. For me, it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Because one day you can be in a good mood or a good mindset, and not the other day. So when it will happen, you will try to revenge, and it doesn't work with me. So I think everyone are different, and it's for that each person needs to find his own strategy.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for all of this. And now let's just take a quick look into your account matrix. Okay, here in the account matrix, we can see a quite steady growth of your balance. Also, we can see that you obviously had a positive risk-reward ratio because, yeah, we do see some losses, but each time there was a loss, it wasn't as substantial as the profit that was following next. So very nice and steady profit. I can see that you went into the negative drawdown only at the beginning, but then it was only going upwards.
Yeah.
So very well done. Could you now please scroll down a little to the statistics so we can see what they were like? Okay, so here the consistency score, another thing I wanted to point out. So that's a feature we released just recently, and you have consistency score of 90%, which is a lot, very nice. So that's something that you were mentioning, right? Because when you are day trading, really one day you can win, another day you can lose the money. So it's quite often really up and down. So I think this is why you do have such a high consistency score, because you hold positions for a longer time.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Okay, so here we can see you didn't really need. At one point, you were quite close to the max day loss, but you managed to stay inside.
That's something that I have to pay attention, because that's as I said at the beginning, after the profit slip, that's difficult to have back a long-term position.
Mm-hmm.
So it's for that psychologically it's more difficult here at the beginning, and when you have you keep swing position, it's much faster.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I guess the psychology plays a really big part in that.
Yeah.
Okay, now could you please scroll a little further so we can see the other stats? Okay, here, so yeah, the risk reward, as I was mentioning, 1.6, and combined with the win rate of almost 50%, we can see that, you were really profitable. And now if you could scroll to the last part of the journal, so that's interesting. We can see a lot of different instruments. There's the oil, silver, gold, DAX, some Forex as well. So how do you actually find the opportunities to trade? Like, do you go to TradingView and you check a few instruments and you're trying to spot the right opportunity to trade? You do a top-down analysis and then you enter?
For the Forex, I compare each device to take the ones that's the opposite ones. So one that is very strong and one that is very weak.
Mm-hmm.
So like that, when I combine both of them, there will be a bigger volatility than other device. So I use that for the Forex, I mean. And for the other symbols, yes, I check on it, and as I say, I see on TradingView the support and major resistance. And when I am in this area, I start planning some things for the next weeks.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so thank you for that, and I think now is the right time to go to the last part of the interview and talk a bit about the psychology. Okay, so let's finish up the interview with a few words about psychology. So you were mentioning that at the beginning of your trading career, there was a lot of education, right? And that is the thing, right? Because when it comes to the technical analysis and understanding how the fundamentals work, pretty much anybody can learn that, right? Because you have all the books, you have all the education on the internet. But with the psychology, it is different. You cannot learn how to manage your emotions or how to understand your psychology without really enough time and enough experience. So how did you learn, or how did your psychology evolve from the beginning of your trading career up until now?
Okay, but well, at the beginning, when you start trading, you think you will learn everything with a graph, with the candles, indicators, and everything like that. And finally, more and more you try to learn that, more and more you get frustrated because you think you will find the perfect solution. So more and more you learn because you try to find the perfect solution, the less your psychology will be good. So that's one thing. So I think it's better to be a bad analyst, but a good trader, because we have a lot of people can analyze very well the graphics, but it's not necessarily a good traders. 90% of the people on the markets lose money, and they are not in the long term regular, consistent. I mean, it's not because only 10% can analyze the graphics. It's because the 10% that win money on the market, it's because they have a strong psychological things. So at the beginning, I didn't work a lot on this part. And finally, I think it's if I would go back in the past and try to do the same things, I will learn more about psychology from the beginning, even if maybe it doesn't. It's not very. People maybe doesn't really understand if they don't make mistake before that, but it's very important. So I read books. Like one book that helped me a lot, it's called Entrer dans la zone from Mark Douglas. It's enter into the area, I think, something like that, if I translate it in English. So this one helped me a lot. And also, thanks to online trainings with French group called Training Academy. They are very good in terms of psychology. They help a lot. So that's the last year I work with them on psychological side. And in fact, the analysis was okay. My strategy was okay, but I was not regular because of the psychology part. And when I start working with them at the beginning, it helped me a lot. So after that, I could take my own position with my strategy, and now I'm quite confident. Yeah.
Okay. Now looking back at your psychology, and you just mentioned that you couldn't be consistent because you didn't have your psychology on point. So could you like name and point at the exact issues that you think were preventing you from being consistent?
Yeah, of course. The risk ratio. Most of the people talk about the risk ratio. Yes, you have to win 2 times what your stop loss. Not always, because you will at this point you will try to put a stop loss very tight to your entry point, and that's not the good things. Your stop loss need to be in somewhere that is
realistic.
Realistic, exactly. Same for the take profits. At the beginning, I always wanted to have high take profits. It's for that now I put a risk ratio of 1 for the TP1, so take profit 1, they call, just because of that. In my mind, when I take a take profit 1 and I have break even, it's much more easier. It's easier after that. So that's I learned it from Trading Academy 1 year ago, and it made that's what the difference has been done thanks to that. So I implemented it into my strategy, and now it's much better. Then there is overtrading as well. As I say, 4 hours maximum with alerts. Before that, I was always on the graphics, so it's not helping at all. And yes, I think yes. And the entry points need to be in area for me. Because if you don't have a plan, if you don't follow a plan, if you don't follow your money management as well, your psychology will not be here. You will not have a good mindset. So the 3 key points for me is have a plan, follow your plan, of course, and follow your money management. If you take a higher risk than expected, and if you're not aware of that, so if you risk more, I don't know. I know for me, if I go more than 1%, even 1% is quite a lot. But if I go more than 0.5% per trade, I know I will try to have revenge. So I try to avoid that by following my money management. In money management, I mean risk ratio 1.5 is okay. Take profits, not too high, not too low, no, but normal one, I mean, and entry point.
I think what's also super helpful is what you mentioned at the beginning of the strategy part, that you always try to pay yourself, right? That you put a take profit that is realistic, not too high, and you take 10 to 30%, and just the fact that okay, that I already got some profits is gonna relieve like so much stress from thinking, okay, like is the position gonna go in my direction or against me? So yeah, I just wanted to say that nobody has ever lost money from taking profits. So you do not necessarily need to aim for the high profit target and always try to squeeze as much money as possible, because greediness is a problem, obviously. But as you mentioned, you can just pay yourself quite near where you open the position, and then you will be in so much comfortness from that it's gonna be easier for you.
Yeah, totally right. And also money management, the percentage of risk per trade, because if you use a high risk per trade, you will get frustrated. If it goes back to your break even, you will try to enter with a new position, and it's not so good. But if you use low money or low risk, that's not a problem. You will take another position later with new opportunities. So you will not have other psychological things that's coming in your mind. So
okay,
I think that's a 2 point.
Olivier, thank you so much for being here today. I think today's everything's fine. I think today's interview was brilliant. And if there's anything you'd like to say, any last words, if you'd like to give a shout out to anybody, or if you would just want to say anything, now's our time.
Yeah, I think on the market, if you want, and I don't have a huge experience, but if you want to be profitable, you don't need to think only on markets, but also try to be curious, to find new things. It will help you not to interact with the markets, but you will interact more when it is needed. As I said, you can read, you can look at the news when you are waiting, and it will avoid you to enter everywhere. So yeah.
And that's FTMO.